In Corpus Christi, in fact, we're known as the birdiest city in the nation.
That we are, but as Hannah Cromer explains, when you're out watching for them, you need to watch out.
Birdiest city? Sure. After all, Corpus Christi is home to winged winners like pelicans, terns, leasters, and egrets.
I think it's awesome that we're known for how many birds we have.
Yeah, but that could all change if we aren't careful. You see, big crowds of people can mean big problems for these birds and their offspring.
We never know when you start tinkering with a system as complicated as the ecology of a coastal area, if you start removing one component, what exactly the carry-on effects are going to be.
Like this Wilson Clover family. This tagged female recently nested and has 3 babies ready to hatch, but it's a delicate situation. If the nest is disturbed, it could kill their chance to thrive.
Whether they're actually technically listed or as endangered and enjoy that legal protection or not, most of them are in some stage of decline.
Scientists like David Newstead of the Coastal Bend Bays and Estuary Program are studying the problem, hoping to find solutions.
We really need full compliance. If you have 1 or 2 people that go and disturb a nesting colony, that's potentially hundreds of birds.
A lot of animals and activity frighten the birds, who then may abandon their nest forever.
Try to keep out and keep your dogs on a leash and not walk through areas that are protected.
Newstead urges people to stay clear of fencing with these signs. But either way, don't be alarmed if a nesting bird comes at you. Newstead says it just means you're too close. They don't want anything from you. They're just simply asking for space. So leave the birds in their nest and keep our title of the birdiest city in the U.S. Hannah Cromer, Chris 6 News.
And to learn more about how to keep these animals in the air and
Today we were trapping red knots. It's a shorebird species that spends a good part of its life around here. They're fattening up on the beaches and they're getting ready to fly north. So by trapping the birds, we take several types of samples. In addition to measurements, we also take blood and feather samples that will help us with genetic analyses and things like that. That will help us better understand where the birds are going and what we can do to better conserve them.
It's important to do this kind of work because you need to determine what's going on in the life cycle of these birds. These birds, you know, some of the red knots migrate almost 20,000 miles a year round trip every year. And there's a lot of threats along the way, along that migratory journey. And so we need to figure out where each step, you know, what are the threats, how are they doing there, what are the critical habitats, how are they using the habitat, and find out more about them so we can better conserve them. There are a lot of complex relationships between the wildlife and habitat and the ecosystems. And I always like to tell people it's like, you know, if I reach into a car engine and pull out a bolt, does that bolt really matter? A lot of people would say no, but I might throw that bolt out and that might be the one that holds the engine together. So that, you know, it's important that we maintain biodiversity and that we work on every species that we can to keep them around and keep them healthy and doing well.